Like lowest?
Lowest, yes. And they're revealed.
Fuck, I forgot what my fucking last name was.
Actually, I'm not down there yet. I'm actually
it's
up.
written somewhere.
So I'm by Lorian right now.
Let's see. You should be under the character tab. Player character. Scroll.
What was it, like golden tongue or some shit?
I think it's like Elenethal. I don't know. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, you can imagine that I know my oh god, I almost included my Indian food order.
I'm thinking about ordering Indian now. But anyway.
Chili pakora, I don't think I need to include that in the letter.
Okay, so what is everyone doing so we can get this moving? Because there's still a juicy amount of content, and I want to milk this session for all I can.
Okay, well, here we go. I've written an entire ass letter while you guys have all been talking and asking me questions.
Hashtag RP.
So, there.
Excellent. You got a taste of what it's like to be a DM. Okay.
Yes.
The jar of wine that I have in my inventory.
He was with Gallo and Fredkick and leaves the rifle on his person, but yeah, just talks with them something. And
never mind, just mind.
We'll see.
Alright, what do you think of that letter, Steve? I did mention the dragon skull in the hopes that someone has it and will destroy it.
Okay, oh my goodness, we're typing, look at that. To our esteemed patrons, we have journeyed to the necromancer's lair and with great personal loss slain him. The rift has been closed, and the magical plague known as the Rot should now leave, though I imagine the damage it has wrought already may not heal so well. Most of the crew, including everyone skilled in sailing, is unconscious due to a siren attack. We have survived, but many are wounded in a catatonic state for at least a week. We must make our way to an island to rest and heal. Once the rest of the crew has recovered, we can decide what we need to do after. If the skull of the red dragon remains in the city, please destroy it, as there is an evil ritual that a powerful cultist intends to cast, which involves the skull of dragons. Tragically, we have lost some brave souls. May it be known that the following folk are heroes who helped save the countless lives and aided in our quest to save the world from the negative plane which was bleeding into our realm. Nimlalwe, I forgot about her. Nimlalwe fell to a sea serpent out over the deep ocean. Cathreftes and the half-orc were slain by an evil black dragon. Yvonne, once a rogue and thief, proved herself to be the greatest hero of all, sacrificing her own life in order to close the rift to the negative plane. It is she who ultimately saved us all, and whether or not we can resurrect her, I wish to donate gold to erect a statue in her memory, and invite other good men and women to do
good mer and
men to do the same. As well, Aldwulf departed wishing to return to his home, fate unknown. Furthermore, let it be known that Ulrich was a traitor to all good men and mer, intending to aid that which lurks in conquering and destroying our world, and to murder our good and brave companions. Be of good cheer, people of Greihold, for you may breathe and walk freely through your streets again. We long for the day when we may safely return, and we will be in contact again soon. Your humble servant, Lorian. Wow! If I could give you an inspiration, I could, but you already have one from earlier today.
Thank you.
Well done. That will be sent by Mithryorn, who then flies off of his shoulder and vanishes into the astral plane.
Alright.
That's good. That's good. That's a good summary too. Damn. I'm impressed. That was well done.
Well, I mean, Lorian's a noble, so he's got to spend a lot of time in his lessons learning how to write letters to people, you know.
Is it a he or she now? I can't recall.
Currently
she.
It is a she.
So I will say that before we talk about the journey, I'm not sure if Rollhall is doing anything with the Siren or not. The Siren is in the lower hold.
I was trying to communicate with people.
I'll go with you if you want to interview the Siren. What do we want to know from Siren? And how are we going to find out without it singing at us?
Do we know that it can communicate in our language? Do I know that with my earlier role of nature?
I could comprehend languages.
I suppose that is efficient.
I just need 10 minutes to do a ritual cast, and I can comprehend languages. But The problem is that once we take the gag off that thing, I don't see why it wouldn't attack.
As soon as it starts singing, we put the gag back on.
As far as you know, it doesn't have a gag.
What? No, I
What
would have made
idiot.
sure. I would have made sure
Yeah.
that fucking thing had a gag on it.
You never went
before
down
we
there.
went
You never went down
anywhere.
there. You never went down
Well,
there.
you told me to write a letter before we even went anywhere, so I wrote the fucking letter.
Never went down there.
Do I recall from my earlier recollections of these creatures if they actually need water to survive?
They do after like a day or so. They need to have water on their skin.
So let's say that we have realized that we're not supposed to, that we need to go down, or that we should go down and talk to it before a day has passed.
It could have killed it, but honestly, I would say that it's only been a couple hours before you even realized that you haven't talked to it yet. I'm sure this conversation would have come up before a day has passed, realistically.
Yeah.
So I'm letting you guys talk about it now before we talk about the journey, as I mentioned.
Yeah. So
Well,
I have an empty water skin. I fill it. I use my cantrip to fill it up with water.
There's also plenty of buckets on the ship too, which hold a lot more practical.
Okay,
just
yeah.
saying.
I'll just grab a bucket then and fill it with water from the sea, because I assume seawater is better than the alternative. And then I bring it. I have it with me until we go down.
Very well.
All right, so we, I suppose we want to know why they engaged our ship, because they tend not to, or they usually don't, because they usually want to go for smaller ships, because it's a, well,
Why
big
would
thing
you do
to
something
engage a
so
ship like this.
foolishly suicidal? I would have.
Valid question. I will ask who else is down here. Gallo is not interested. He's fed up with beasts at the moment. And he's also a bit shameful of the occurrences that happened at the rift. And then you also have Falmanar, who's honestly just recuperating his strength as he is the tank of the party and wants to be ready for any action. What about you, Joseph? Are you making your way down with the group?
I actually don't really know what he would do.
Fair enough.
I guess he's thinking things over.
Very well. So you'll think things over in your cabin, as it is now evening. So you did or did not cast Comprehend Languages, just for my reference?
I'm gonna cast Comprehend Languages.
Okay.
Can that affect me too?
No.
I know.
Sage.
Well, let me. Can I not cast it on somebody else? No, I cannot.
Well,
So I shared with you
Only so.
I shared with you the picture of the Siren. Again, Sylvia, for those of you who are on Roll20, you can see that. So yes, that is the Siren. That's what it looks like. That is its form. And it is sitting in a pile of hay in this cage on the lower deck and responds by just scowling back at Lorraine, not saying a thing. But it eyes the bucket of water.
I'm gonna take the bucket of water and I'm gonna pour a little bit of it on the floor away from her, far away from her.
How far? Out of the bars of the cage or within the bars of the
Oh.
cage?
Out of the bars of the cage where she can't touch it. Like over, I'll say over here. Just a little bit of it, and then I'm gonna put it back down. I'm gonna say, I repeat, why would you do something so suicidal as to attack a ship of this size?
She responds in common.
Uh-oh, voice changer.
It is your people who have killed off and hurt our kind in the waters. Our fish have been dying. Our plants have been dying. What is it that you have been doing to our people and why?
Oh, are things rotting and dying off? And creatures getting sick? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, it is not us who have attacked you, it is you who have been attacking us with your magics.
Alright, well, listen. You know why we sailed this ship up here? To stop that from happening. Because an undead monster opened a rift to the negative plane, and it was causing these horrible diseases called the rot. We came here to stop that. We haven't been attacking you, we were saving you and all other life in this realm. And you just hurt our people and made things much more dangerous for us. We were saving you. If you had asked instead of assumed, you would have found that out. But instead, a bunch of your people are dead. And it didn't have to be that way.
I don't know what the words planes and rifts are, but we have not hurt your people, just sung our song to make you leave and be done.
You cut out.
Leave and be gone. Okay.
And she said to leave and be docile.
Well, we can't really sail a ship if we're unconscious, can we? So, we kind of wouldn't be able to leave if you did that, would we?
Riddle's just
We don't
ask us.
understand how your wooden mounts operate. We just want you to leave us in peace.
Well, why
Riddle's
didn't you just say so? Why didn't you ask instead of singing your song, which caused people to lose consciousness? And I saw wounds on my people. And I saw bodies of your people on our deck. So I'm not sure I believe. Hold on. Rojo, bring down one of the people that was here. I want to hear what they have to say about it.
So there are, well, okay. Yeah, go, yeah, sorry, go, do it.
I'm just gonna... whoop. Wait, where the fuck are they? Whoop.
So the only people, yeah, so you can choose between Conrad or Diva.
Yo,
Probably give us
Conrad, you seem to
Conrad
be...
is... Oh, okay.
What?
Go ahead.
Wait, who was Giva? Remind me.
Diva
was the
is
paladin.
the paladin. I
Do they have anything about...
Yeah, sorry.
Do they have anything against these creatures? Either of them?
So without making any rolls, I will say that she tends to hate evil as a paladin. She's a traditional paladin. And these sirens technically are considered evil as viewed by her. And sort of out of character and by mechanism, they are under the evil alignment.
So I'll bring the other wee fella.
Yes, the
Joseph
other wee
David.
fella. The wealthy businessman Conrad Gage, which I don't have a voice changer thing for immediately. So-
Just see this.
And we're down here.
Yes, I will. Shall I drive?
How's
this
it?
token? I
How's
shall
it going
drive this
there,
token.
Lorian, speaking from very far away?
Joseph also makes his way down at this point with Conrad, as he mentioned in DMs.
So Conrad, she tells me that they believe that the rot was an attack from us, and that they didn't attack us at all. They just sang their song to try to get us to leave. So I want to hear from you what exactly happened from your perspective.
Conrad thinks for a moment and responds, and he says, "That's just what we do. We have our shipments of wine, and whenever we're trying to ship them from point A to point B, sometimes there's interruptions, sometimes there's doldrums, and sometimes there's sirens, and they sing their songs, and they make the shipments take a lot longer to get there. As soon as I heard their song, I knew there were sirens, and I knew that some of these people were going to fall asleep and be catatonic for a week. And they started to come on board and mess with our ropes. They didn't attack us directly, but we had to react, because we didn't know what they were going to do," Conrad says.
And did they What happened then when you attacked?
Some of them tried to sing and some of them tried to flee. But what happens if we all fell unconscious? Who would look after the others? We had to fight back.
So what I'm hearing is that you both thought you were defending yourselves and your people.
I mean, look at the crew. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't be able to set sail.
That is true. That is true. But imagine from her perspective. Sorry about eating something. Everything's dying, and it's coming from the land. Could you not see that as potentially an attack? Maybe they really did believe that we were doing it. If only people would talk to each other, these problems wouldn't happen. Anyway, what good is it keeping her in this cage? I turn to her. If we let you go, will you tell your people that the rot has stopped, that the people in the boats saved not only themselves, but your people as well?
You see her think for a moment, and she continues to eye the bucket of water and the water that was spilled, and make an insight roll. Any of you can make an insight roll.
The more the merrier. Please make insight rolls.
Oh, those advantage.
So I'll take
Still,
the 18 if that's the
18.
first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rohan and Joseph have pretty high ones. You both can see that she is afraid and thinks that she will be tortured and or killed. And you believe that this is because that's how land dwellers usually treat her kind. And she also sees the spilt water as a threat to her and her safety.
We are not malicious individuals. We are quite sensible individuals. Would you like some water?
She reaches out her hand without saying anything, still with fear and uncertainty in her eyes.
I gently bring...
I
Oh, go on.
ask, what's the guy I brought down? What is his name?
Conrad.
Conrad, do you have a key for the cage? Or for the lock?
Conrad hesitates and says, I think Keth has them in his quarters. Shall I go and get them?
Please do.
He hurries up at your command.
I gently bring over the bucket and hold it as close to the bars as I can.
She takes the bucket and douses it over her skin gently. And she begins to speak.
My name is Lorelis. Can you tell me, have you also been responsible for the tremors beneath the sea as well?
My name is Lorien, and I know of no tremors beneath the sea. When did this start?
A few weeks ago, our altars for Eathan have been destroyed by tremors and crystals. And as I mentioned, our wildlife has been dying. Many things have been happening.
Yes, I know exactly what's going on. We are all under attack, both you beneath the sea and us on the land, by Ganadar, that which lurks beneath, an ancient primordial god who is trying to destroy all other gods in this realm so that he can take control and make this his world. It would be a very, very bad thing for all of us if he were to succeed. Many altars, many churches, many priests and holy people have been killed and destroyed on the land as well. We journey to try to stop him as well. But it will take us very far. We must even go to the Hell Realms to forge a sword that could kill a god.
I do not understand all your words, but from what I can understand, is that the gods are active again. It has been many moons since Yathan has spoken to us. There is something that is happening. The gods are responding again. We are returning to the age of miracles.
But
Perhaps
beware
what
the
you are
crystal.
speaking of is causing...
Oh, I'm sorry. There's a delay, Steve.
And what you gather from what she is saying is that their god, Yathan, which you can certainly make religion rolls on, is being more active in a reaction to some of these tremors.
25 motherfuckers.
And she says that the return of miracles is arriving because of these disruptions.
I'm going to tell her that she must be careful. They must all be careful to not get close to those crystals or touch them, because those crystals come from Ganadar, that which lurks, and they will corrupt, and they will kill. And they are an attack against her goddess.
She makes a sustained eye contact, which you interpret as her cultural version of a nod. And she takes Rohal's good berries, which Rohal mentioned he is handing her in chat. And you know that Yeathon is a lesser god, not well known by many, but your 25 roll is quite exceptional. It is it is a neutral evil god. The symbol is a trident, and the god has to do with the depths and drowning and just everything dark and maleficent about the sea. You understand that although this creature is somewhat evil by nature, she seems to be fairly neutral at heart and fearful of you all without any direct ill intent. And from the conversation you get with her, you all get a sense that you felt like her people were just meaning to be isolated, and they were disrupted and thought that your land dwellers caused these problems, which you did, kind of. Not you, but your uncle did.
I'm not going to mention that.
No, you're not going to mention that. I didn't think you would. Also, again, the takeaway that she is saying is that she feels like her god is becoming active again after a long time of being dormant. And you have heard in your adventures that many of the gods have not been responding to people. People who are begging for healing, people who have this rot, have just not received the attention and healing that they've needed for many, many months and years now. It's as if the gods have ignored people for a long time, and perhaps this upset and these cultists bringing Gondor back is causing a backlash among those who follow the gods, who worship, and is causing an opposite reaction to what the cultists wanted. People are now relying more on their gods in a time of despair, and there is a time of miracles returning. And then Conrad returns and unlocks the door to the cage, and she does not rush for the door. She stays with the bucket of water, and it's as if she is touching the wood floorboards and closing her eyes and sensing her location at the sea and respond.
Ian responds, I cannot enter these waters. These waters are not safe for me. I must wait until we go further south. Further away from here.
Alright, let's fill up some buckets of water then. Looks like we got some extra crew for a while.
And so she indicates that she wishes to stay on the ship for the entirety of the journey. You do not know why. When you press her for more information, she only says that there are great and large things that lurk in these waters, and they remain dormant if not disturbed.
Yeah.
Yes, you have. The journey otherwise goes uninterrupted for the 3.5 days.
Can I describe that to her, though? The creature?
Certainly, certainly. So you do your best to describe the creature, and again, she makes sustained eye contact. She never nods, never shakes her head. You realize that she doesn't have these cultural norms. Instead, she makes sustained eye contact, which indicates that she understands that. And she doesn't have a name for it, but she acknowledges it and says that those are one of the many large beings that she must be cautious of in certain waters. She's very knowledgeable of the sea and senses her location at all times. Anything that you wanted to do for the long journey would be accomplished within reason, so I know what it is. If it's anything that I should be aware of, any attunement up to 3 items at any given time. That's fine. You can attune to those things if they require attunement.
I'm
gonna
gonna
mark on the
redo my
map.
spells.
Sure. I know it's late for some of you. I have no problem going on. I have much more awesome content. I'm going to mark on the map the journey to the Isle of Est.
Let's see what happens.
Inspiration to what? Purpose? Oh, you got an 8.
That's not very high.
You're tempted. You're tempted to go do it. Now you can't even say no.
I mean, I can take my inspiration and roll again. It might be worse.
That's not how inspiration works. It's too late. Inspiration just gives you an advantage.
You
Disadvantage.
activate it before.
It doesn't let. Yeah, you roll an 8 on wisdom. You're now so bereaved at the loss of Yvonne that you are tempted to want to go steal the deck. I mean, I didn't do this. You did this. You did this to yourself. You did this to yourself. You did this to yourself.
Shut up. I'm not going to do that. In my other campaign, we
Yes,
can do
you
it
are.
after, but I guess fucking hell, I
That's
didn't
not
know
how-
your rules here. I didn't know your rules here.
You mean the rules of Dungeons and Dragons?
I mean, like, I guess that DM had those rules. I can use inspiration later too. At least so far, I've
You mean the
remembered.
rules of Dungeons and Dragons?
Use
So
inspiration to
now-
get
Now
the
Joseph,
card he wants.
Now Joseph wants. He longs for the deck. He is plagued with the thought. Getting a deck to save his lost companion.
Joseph eyes Falminar and the bag of holding.
Falminar is he's meditating at sleep right now. He's sort of just like doing his elven sleep thing.
What time
You
is
could
it?
easily just
It is midnight. It is midnight on the ship. Forget the eagles. We're retconning. We're going back. It is the midnight before the eagles arrive.
I'm gonna roll for stealth.
Oh yes.
And that's one. I
Your
stumble.
your boots are. You're not stumbling, but your boots are squeaking from the night dew. You're now. So now I gotta see what
How many of them
Falminar-
still have their ears tied from the sirens, though?
None of them.
None.
Let me see what
So
Falminar
Joseph-
rolls for
Joseph,
perception while asleep.
Falminar has his helmet on as well.
Does it in the nighttime as well?
Ears.
I'm gonna let Ev
I don't think
answer
he.
that.
One
I don't
thing
think
is
he
that-
would when he's sleeping.
Joseph just like he tries to sneak
Well,
in
you're
a
not
walking
sleeping.
way.
Okay, I'm gonna roll perception 2 times. Oh my god, he has a +5 though. He's asleep though. I'm doing it as a disadvantaged roll. A 13.
Which is more than my stealth, which is a critical failure.
Oh, that was almost a nat 22.
So
Jesus.
Joseph,
Tell me where he's
no,
sleeping.
tell me. Were you rolling your stealth for before? Are you opening the door to his quarters, or tell me, and I'll tell you what happens.
Oh well, I thought he was fucking meditating in the open. I didn't know fucking where he
No,
was.
he's in his room. He's got a room on the ship, man. It's in his quarters.
It's midnight, so I guess I open the door, and do I see him sleeping and awake?
Falminar opens his eyes, but he's very groggy, and he says, "Joseph, do you need anything?"
Oh, excuse me. I didn't come. My mind didn't come across that you might still be awake. I guess I'll ask my question in the morning.
Very well, he says, and drifts back off into his meditative sleep.
I'm gonna do insight. Or is it insight to see if he's truly really sleeping?
Yes, it's inside. Go ahead.
15.
He's in a deep meditative rest,
Joseph slowly closes the door and walks away.
and then rolls stealth again.
He will take off his boots.
Ooh! You successfully take your boots off.
That one gets splinters.
Let me
Are you
think.
gonna
Do I
end
want-
the campaign right here?
Maybe.
Oh,
Maybe.
okay.
I'm thinking
I'm
if I'm
looking
going.
at mind flayer porn, I guess.
This is a family-friendly
Another night
program.
one? Another
Wow.
The door creaks as you open it. Falminar opens his eyes again and says, "Joseph,
Wait,
you seem to be...
another perception roll.
You know, you
if
do
he's-
have inspiration. I'm just putting that out there.
I know, but I was deciding to use it for fucking picking.
I'm sorry, what are you rolling? Just tell me.
I wanted to save inspiration for the stealth, like the fucking pickpocket. But I wanted to ask, doesn't he have to roll again if he went into
Just-
deep sleep again?
Just saying, he's in a deep meditative.
Actually, that's true.
sleep.
He does need to
So
roll
you don't
again.
need to. You don't need to stealth in. You can just walk in without him noticing. Basically.
I don't know. I'm gonna. Well, he is. Look, if he wasn't an elf, I would say yes. But he's an elf, so he sleeps lightly. He meditates. So I'm gonna do with a disadvantage perception again. Okay, we got. Okay, this time you actually make it in because you got a 9. So
But
he murmurs in his meditations. He sleeps.
but isn't a nat 1 a critical failure?
No.
Yes.
In my campaign, there
No.
are modifying factors. So
Okay.
for example, if you're trying to like backflip into the boss lair like Jinyo did, and if you rolled a 1, he could very well land on his neck and be very sore and laying there while the boss stares at him. But if you're like walking down a street on like a sunny day with like no medical problems, roll a 1, you might like trip and like okay, you trip, but you're not gonna like fucking roll and stab yourself in the neck. You know what I mean? Like I don't have like like if you punch that mast and rolled like a 20. Like you're not going to break the mast. There are limitations. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
So
Okay,
you're making way more noise
Hold
than you
on.
would like to, but he's still like asleep. He had a horrible like disadvantaged roll.
Yeah, Joseph, I think he hears the creaking. He just kind of like and peeks. Like, is he still okay? He seems to be asleep. He looks around, looks at the floor to see if there's any like thing he could splinter his fucking feet on and scream out in pain.
Just make a perception roll.
A perception. 19.
Okay. You see that he's got his armor on. He always is afraid to take it off. He doesn't have his helmet on. And he has his pack with stuff kind of around the room. Some of it's out of the room. The bag of many things is actually on a little table because there's many things that he reviews in there, goes in there. He has his pack on the other side of the room, and there's several weapons kind of leaning against the bed, against the table. Those weapons are balanced and most of them metallic, so you got to be very careful not to knock them over because that'll cause a calamity.
With your current stealthing,
So
Phrase it
if you're
appropriately.
trying to reach into the bag of
Wait,
many things, it would be a sleight of hand roll.
Question. Actually, does Joseph even know where the deck is?
Make an intelligence
Yeah, he
roll,
does.
just based on like you traveling with these people for months. Yeah,
17.
you know that Falminar has it in the bag of holding to throw off any scent of any ne'er-do-wells. That's how Rohol got away with hiding the scent of his gold from the dragon.
I approach. Bag of holding.
This excites the DM.
I gently open it and eye into the thing, the bag. Is it even light enough for me to see in there?
Are you wearing your goggles of the night?
Actually, I do have them on me, so yeah, I guess.
Okay, then you can see everything just fine.
And I guess now I roll a sleight of hand check to see if I find.
No, you
Yeah.
find it. It's just a matter of not knocking over all the weapons that are leaned up nicely against the table.
I'm gonna use inspiration.
Oofed. So make 2 sleight of hand rolls and you take the better.
$13.
Your sleeve is non-existent otherwise. You would knock over one of his swords. And you take the deck of many things. Just putting it in your hand for the first time, having only seen it and heard about it from afar, you understand that it has immeasurable power.
Wait, did you say did I knock over a sword, or did I not knock over a sword?
No, you're very lucky that you didn't have any like long hanging sleeves or anything, otherwise you would have. Since you're such a neat individual. You did not knock anything over.
With his gloved hands, he feels the deck of many things and looks upon it. He puts it away into his pockets
You do
and
so
leaves
easily.
the room. And he leaves the room, trying to remember at what point did the door start creaking.
At about the
Yeah.
60% mark, 60% open mark.
And he slithers his way out there, out of this little gap,
Easy.
and tries to find the perfect speed of which the creak does not occur.
Easy, you're a rogue. Done. You got no shoes on.
He goes, puts his shoes on, and goes out to the deck.
You are there. Most people
What's the
are not
weather
on
like?
this. The weather is quite crisp. It is clear. You can see the stars above.
I go to the bow, the top of the bow castle.
Okay.
Change the map.
Conrad is manning the wheel, and Gallo is sleeping in a chair behind him. He's there to help, but he's asleep. Conrad seems to be handling it well.
Has Conrad spotted me?
Conrad does see you walking there from afar. He doesn't see any details or anything. He does have dark sight as a halfling.
Was there like a place where I could jump over like the railing, and then there is like the other nose of the ship?
Not
I-
really. Not really. No. There's mostly just the netting on the sides and just kind of the smooth hull of the ship on the other sides.
Aw, Sleepy Rose.
I mean, you do have your own quarters though.
Oh my god, Rose is really sleeping. Actually,
Still got his headset.
I mean, as tired as you are, you gotta see what happens with this deck. I mean, god damn, anything can happen.
Joseph,
Literally could be like Roosevelt immediately dies.
Joseph also checks the freaking bow castle, or what's it called? The bow thing.
Crow's nest?
Not the crow's nest, but there was also like a.
let me pull our map up so we can get all the information you need. 1 second. Bada bing. We are here, and you are talking about what the ship is.
It's forecastle. There is also like a room inside here.
Yes, that would be the forecastle cabin.
Forecastle cabin.
There's nobody in there. It's unlocked. You can enter there.
I'll enter there. Okay. Is this a windowless area, or there are any hatches around?
Yes, you have 2 doors on both sides, and that's about. You have 2 portholes, 1 on each side.
Okay. Yes, it takes out.
Actually, if you zoom in, you can see the forecastle cabin. It actually is comprised of 3 rooms. The first room has a porthole. You can zoom in and see. And there's 2 doors on the other room with a bed.
This place here.
Yeah.
That's the forecastle.
Yeah.
Joseph goes here.
Where?
Behind the mast.
Hold on.
Behind
You
the
got
forecastle.
no. Go to the actual forecastle. There's a forecastle room on the front left. It has its own little.
It's dark for me.
It's dark for you. Oh shit. Let me reel that. Shouldn't be dark for you.
It is.
Is it visible now? Oh, I didn't realize it was dark. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, you're in there. Which room would you like to go in for the deed?
Hold on, let me understand which fucking place.
The deck of many things excites me.
Fuck, I can't rotate my character. Hold on. I shall go to this room. I close the door. I put my back to the mast.
Okay.
Take out that deck of many things, and I look.
Yes.
I look upon it.
Did Ev go AFK?
Now. Yes,
I'm
she's
listening.
away.
I'm listening.
Joseph remembers what happened to our monk who also pulled from the deck, of what power it can bring, and of what disaster it may cause.
Indeed.
So I'm going to make my last wisdom throw to see what he will do.
Ooh, he rolled a 3, which means you want to gain its power. Now tell me in character.
That one.
Tell me in character what it is you seek from the deck with that low wisdom. What is it that if you are completely entranced by it, what is it that you seek from it the most? Is it power? Is it wealth? Is it to bring back Yvonne? Is it to better your situation? Is it to help others? What is it?
I'm going to roll a d20. Actually, that's a good question.
Is it to destroy Ganadar?
Yeah, don't do any rolls for the deck yet. We need to talk about
Yeah.
what your
I
what your
mean,
motivations are.
how what role would I have to roll to see how selfish he is?
That's your decision you don't have to roll for that. That is your character RP. But the fact is you rolled a 3 wisdom, which means that you are being somewhat seduced by the deck itself. But the question is, what is it that drives you? You tell me through RP.
If you allow me. I guess one of the things that is on Jay's mind is bringing back Yvonne. What else would... There also would be the clearing of his name, the cancellation of the bounty, or the power to do so. The power to maybe find a witch I spoke about. To find out what...
That died with the thing with Bobber. Close the portal. Was that Yvonne?
That's Yvonne, yes.
Okay, that was.
Then there is the thing of his own past and why his father left him. That's also one thing he wants to know. Potentially revenge. There are things I haven't thought about because this just kind of flowed. Maybe some insight to some things, secrets. What does Faminar know? What does Faminar know that he can't tell us? We'll see. Maybe disregard another, but I don't want to do that for the sake of your world building. Because if I do that, I get a wish plan, it's just a massive fucking plot is ruined.
Trust me, I'm a versatile DM. You as a player do what you want to do. I'm the DM. I bend to the player's choices.
So you said there is 20 cards, yeah?
There are 20 cards, so that means whatever Sandro the monk drew has returned to the deck. I will also say that whatever number of cards you choose to draw must be mentally thought of first. If you do not draw them physically, they will be drawn automatically after an hour themselves and trigger. So whatever you mentally imagine you to draw and commit to is what happens. That's how the deck works. And I will also say out of character that this deck has been modified by me. It's not the base deck, it's not the vanilla deck. It has been modified for better and for worse in different ways.
I don't know if to do it IRL or to roll in the chat, but I want to roll a d20 to see how many cards he pulls.
That's a big dice to roll, I'm just saying, but it's your choice.
Yeah, you should probably get a 20.
No, please.
I'll take a smaller dice.
I will say one thing. If you roll like a 20, for example, that means you will be getting 1 to 3 wishes. You will be getting the void card. Like you will, like these things are going to happen if you roll that many.
No, d12 is too big. I know I have smaller dice in here somewhere.
I would go for just d4.
You can use the command in the chat /roll and then
that's a 10.
I think he wants to roll it for real.
And I will say that after you choose how many cards you're going to roll, you're going to be rolling a 1d20 to see what cards are drawn based on my modified list. So it's going to be entirely in your hands. And luck, should I say. Yeah.
So how was the command R4/1d4 or 6?
It's whatever you choose. And I will say I shared the image of the what you perceive in character to be the cards. I think one of you, maybe Lorian, has a book that talked briefly about that many things. And this is an image in the book that you've all kind of looked at before as you talked about it. So I'll share that in character.
And the
so 1d6. For fuck's sake.
You can roll in the top left corner of.
No, you have to type /roll. Type it exactly the way I did, just without the period in front of it.
Yeah, it's /roll
There-
space
It might be an
1d6.
exclamation.
There's also UI.
Oh
Big
my
hard.
god.
Wow! Thank God you didn't roll a 20.
Oh my god. Joseph just committed to drawing 6 cards from the deck of many
Oh
things.
shit.
Sweet Jesus.
I did not think this was going to happen tonight, and I never thought anybody would draw 6 cards. This is insane. This is insane.
Oh, no.
I'm actually worried about... more so about Joseph, not so much the campaign. I'm worried about Joseph, more about the character Joseph. Many
Okay,
things can
so-
happen. This is very... Oh, he didn't even tell me he was doing this too. Oof.
Considering
so-
you've gotten
so-
like
so-
top tier draws and bottom tier draws, like it feels like you can get like 2 bottom, 2 top.
So Joseph, are you going to physically draw the card or wait for fate to have the card drawn? The first one. You tell me. Are you going to draw the first one?
Would Joseph know that that's even an option to let it?
He would, yeah. And I'll just say that even holding the deck is so wondrous and powerful that this knowledge just comes into your being. So here's the thing, Joseph. Whether you draw them or not, you're already committed to 6 cards. They will be drawn.
I'm gonna switch to mobile for a hot second so I can go boil.
Yeah,
some
sure
water.
thing. Sure thing. Oh my gosh, this
I've
could
been
be...
requested to make
Hold
cookies
on.
that apparently require boiling a can of condensed milk for an hour.
Boys,
So
I
I
need
hope
You're
that
gonna
doesn't
make
explode.
caramel.
I think so, yeah. They're Peruvian cookies, apparently.
Oh, the Alpha Flores cookies? I love those. Those are my favorite.
Oh, is that what they are?
Alpha
I don't know,
Horus.
but
Alpha
my-
Horus
my
are my
mother
favorite type of cookie.
Got
Yes.
a batch of them
Hold on, boys. I
from
need
one
to
of
put
her
on my.
students' grandmothers, and they sent the recipe in, so I'm attempting to make them.
Have you eaten one?
I have not. She has, and she's been craving them.
They are my yeah, I don't blame her. They're my favorite type of cookie. I've eaten any dessert anywhere on planet Earth. They're my favorite. They're great. I get them at Peruvian places all the time.
I am ready.
Okay. Joseph is ready. He's got his... Is that a Ushanka? What are they called? You got it on your head.
Let's
Okay. Roll the first die. Draw the first card. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. I'm excited. I'm just... Oh,
Is that good DM?
this is the coolest thing.
6.
Okay, a 6. Let me count it and see what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my god.
Actually, I want to pull them all at
Okay,
once.
so, no, wait, hang on. So, the image that I shared with you, the deck of many things, you just drew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You drew the fates. The fates. You drew the fates, okay? You drew the fates, okay?
Oh, the numbers are not in order. Okay.
That is,
Wait, the fates. That is the top.
so I'm counting from my list, not from the image, right?
Okay.
The fates. This is wonderful. This is good for you. This is great for you.
The first one. That he didn't just pull one.
So I'm going to read this to you out of character, and in character, this sort of is just the knowledge that comes into your head and you know it. So reality's fabric unravels and spins anew, allowing you to avoid or erase one event as if it never happened. You can use the cards and magic as soon as you draw the card or at any other time before you die. You can literally change something that has happened. You can avoid or erase one event. Joseph, are you there?
Well, I can't give you any advice that would be meta as fuck.
No, because you're not there. You're not there.
Just
You're not
just
there.
remember the
He's alone.
consequences.
Fates. I can change the
Look at him
fabric
sitting there with his glasses.
and die.
He's got 5 more fucking cards, too.
I personally like the ear flaps.
Dude, that is such a great card to draw. This is exciting. Like the
Especially
power.
considering he can also change.
Don't worry
in
about it. Don't
picking-
give him information. Don't give him any information. This is Joseph and Joseph alone.
I can change basically anything that I know of. Now there is a question if I would.
This is a madman right here.
If I would, now for instance, say the plague never existed, then would Joseph ever met Yvonne? Fell in love with Yvonne? Those are all the questions we must ask ourselves.
He'll be sleeping tonight, man.
Clearly.
I shall hold on to this card and go on to the next.
Well, the power of the card is within you, but the card itself goes back into the deck.
Can he draw it more than once?
Sure.
Dude, 2 fake cards, do it!
Roll 10. Okay,
10.
let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, here we go. Okay. Joseph, do me a favor and roll, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Roll a 12-sided die 3 times.
So, roll... Hold on.
You drew the gem card.
So, roll 3D... What was it again?
Roll a 12-sided die 3 times.
Oh my god, that
1, 1, 8.
Okay. 2 deep purple amethysts fall in front of you. Each one is worth 2,500 gold. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A large white pearl worth 900 gold falls in front of you.
So far, so good.
This is a real wet dream.
Too bad you didn't pull just 2 cards.
This is random. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm like,
Hold on, I'm gonna put those things into my
I mean,
inventory.
these are some good things happening. We'll see what happens.
Hold on, let me just add those real quick. So, deep purple amethyst.
Also, Joseph, I will say that the preventing an event from happening, I don't know if I'm going to allow it for another deck. I don't know if the power of the deck can outpower the deck, so keep that in mind. Just want to let you know that. That pertains to things not within the power of the deck. So you can't, like, prevent a card from being drawn from the deck. If that makes sense.
I mean...
But you
So I-
can
so I-
avert something.
Yeah, can I not technically... Like...
It's worth
do
talking
so
about
that-
now. It's worth talking about now. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so isn't it like... so, for instance, if I draw something bad, then... Is it possible to, with the Fates one, revert that from never happening?
I will
then it's
say
like-
that you cannot revert the power of the deck from itself. So other things, other events, but not the deck itself. Because the deck itself...
Joseph never went to go... Joseph never went to go and take the deck in the first place.
Now that is something that I would allow, but then you have to ask yourself, was it worth doing in the first place then? I'll leave that for you to decide. But that would be an example of something that's not technically the power of the deck itself. That would be technically preventing you from even having the deck in the first place, which is, I will allow that. But you can't say, like, I'm preventing this one card from being drawn from the deck and its power. Or, for all you know, you might never have never taken the deck and still suffer from any negative consequences that the deck gave you. I won't tell you until it happens. Because you don't know in character.
Because then there are still those other cards waiting.
Next card. Draw it.
Third card. I'm so sorry if I kill you all. Third card, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 2.
You guys can't hear this.
Okay. You draw the sun, and you are now blessed. You gain advantage to all skill and ability rolls for 1 day. You're also immune to poison and necrotic damage.
Permanently?
For
No,
1 day.
just
No,
a day.
1 day. Just
Yeah,
because-
you're gangster for now. You're gangster for now, but we still got 3 more cards.
Yep.
So, 3... Okay, so, boys and girls. 3 good cards. What are the
Open.
chances of me rolling another 3 bad cards?
I don't know.
Since if you wanna actually talk about like the likelihood, like calculate it, we can do that. But
We could, but we'd like
there
to
are a couple of
get through
different
the
approaches.
session. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of cards.
You got 3 cards left, Joseph.
It's another 2.
Oh. That's boring. Actually, fuck it. You can't draw the same card twice. Roll again.
knew it.
Oh,
I
come
knew
on,
it.
Steve.
was like-
come on.
No, because I
Oh.
realized that's the rule I made with Sandro actually as well. I remembered it
Okay.
now because drawing void twice would be uncool. Roll again, Sid.
What about second breakfast?
What, did I have one?
Ooh, let's see.
I have-
Let's see. My God, you're getting some
Okay.
good cards.
I haven't had
This one's
gotten one
good.
yet.
You got
So that's
Vizier.
four.
You got the Vizier. At any time you choose within 1 year of drawing this card, you can ask a question in meditation and mentally receive a truthful answer to that question. Besides information, the answer helps you solve a puzzle, a puzzling problem or other dilemma. In other words, the knowledge comes with wisdom on how to apply it.
Nice.
And now for the last
You're getting very lucky. You have 2 more cards.
2 more cards of fate and
Only
death.
Oh
positive
my
thing.
god. Oh my god.
Boys and girls, this might end it. 20.
Oof, let's see what that is.
And that's 20.
Okay,
Everett?
this is going to be very interesting. 1 second.
Everything above 10 is bad. Everything below 10 has only been good.
That's
Or
not
bean 10.
entirely true.
Not entirely, evidently. Well, evidently, no.
Roll a 1d 139.
Wait, roll 1.
Roll a 139 sided
One?
dice.
139.
68.
68.
Okay, let me count 1 second. 1, 2, 3,
You take 68
5, 6, 7,
fucking
8,
damage.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14,
That's
15,
like
16, 17,
multiple
18,
times over what Joseph can handle as a permadeath. Yeah, I only have 37. Fully 43. Oh.
Uh-huh. Hopefully, high is good.
Wait, he told you to roll 2?
No, I think you just rolled them.
Joseph, you've turned into a goat for 1d8
Oh,
days.
you didn't say
roll,
all you.
roll, roll a 1d8.
Drawing those next cards is gonna be real fucking hard now.
There's only 1 card left.
Oh, you're lucky. You've turned into a goat only for a day.
But
God,
a
you're
very,
lucky 'cause-
a very blessed goat, though.
dude, if you were in like a desperate situation in combat and you turn into a goat, that would suck for you. But like honestly, on a boat, you're not that bad on a ship. That could have been. You got to think about the context, right? If you're like the last man standing in battle and you're drawing cards desperately, and you turn into a goat, you're just done.
Tell me, am I conscious enough to draw again?
You have to
Remember,
draw again. You have 1 card left.
And am I
just wanna put
conscious
it out.
enough to do it?
Yes,
you
you're
go,
conscious
John.
enough to do it. Doesn't matter. if
Just
you're
wanna
conscious
put
enough to do
just want to put it out there. Technically, you will be a goat when we engage with huge birds.
I hope no one comes to milk me for some milk in the morning.
Also,
You're probably
Joseph.
filling
You're a mailing
Also,
code.
Joseph. Keep in mind, when you have something like polymorph and you hit 0 HP, you turn back into your normal form. You are not like that. You are a goat. That is your HP. You are now a goat with that HP. Okay.
How
Anyway,
much HP?
anyway, draw the last card.
I guess I'll
Look
go
at
in
later.
with my teeth. Ladies and gentlemen, for the last dish of this evening, the 6th card of the deck.
Uh-huh.
It's a 9.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Have I rolled a
6,
9?
7, 8,
No, I
9.
haven't.
I kind of want you to get something bad at this point, but it's a good card.
Wow.
I think we
okay.
should all draw cards now because there are only good things happening.
No.
So you drew the knight
Relatively.
card. You drew the
No.
knight card. You can repair or regenerate any broken or ruined thing, but this does not breathe soul back into the dead. Is there anything
Oh, the
broken?
knight.
It has to happen right now. Anything that's broken or ruined, you can repair it immediately, but it has to happen right now.
Can you repair the crew?
No, cannot. No, it's more like a physical repair, not like necessarily somebody in a mental state.
It has to be right now.
That card was kind of a letdown. But I mean, it is what it is. You know, they're all contextual. Some of them can be wonderful in certain contexts or terrible
So
in certain contexts.
fix it right now. Fix it right now. What needs
Dude, I
fixing?
cannot believe this man got like 6 good cards.
I'm not gonna say.
If he drew void, it was just like done. You're just gone. You just vanish. Nobody knows where you, like everyone wakes up. Where's Joseph? I don't know. Maybe the serpent got him too. It's like literally nobody would even know where he went or anything. They would find a deck on the ground and they'd be like, okay.
Comrade, it is the cheeky pricky. Do not ask the cheeky pricky. It is Slav luck. Now what shall I fix? What is it that we need fixing on the ship? Well, I guess the only...
Oh my god, I'm just looking at the other cards that he could have drawn.
My eye.
Is that what you're repairing?
I shall repair my broken eye. Or
Your eye is normal. You blink and it is fine again, as you unblink.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we shall end tonight's show.
No, we're not. You still have 2 unfinished things. Are you going to use those 2 unfinished powers now or not?
I shall keep them for later use.
You sure?
Nice.
So one was Fates, then there was what was again?
Vizier. Anytime you
Vizier.
choose within 1 year of drawing the card, you can ask a question in meditation and mentally receive a truthful answer to that question. Besides information, the answer helps you solve a puzzling problem or other dilemma. In other words, the knowledge comes with wisdom on how to apply it.
So those are the 2 things. Okay, let me write it somewhere. So
you're telling me that with Joseph's roll of 4 wisdom, he's not going to try to resurrect Yvonne?
Well, if he understands the fates, then he also thinks that, like...
That you'd have to re-roll for that if you're gonna make him roll. Come on,
I'm not going to
Steve.
make him. I'm not going to make him. I'm just asking his RP choice.
Well, in roleplay, I guess, well, he gets all the full understanding how the cards work, correct? Actually.
Yes.
You know what I'm going to do?
What?
The second card, the Vizier. I want to know the most effective and best way to bring Yvonne back as she is. Maybe even with her arm now attached.
Okay, so that's specifically your request, yes?
Let me think this over, because my wording is shit.
Keep in mind,
All
Vizier
together.
does come with the wisdom on how to apply it too, which is quite interesting.
How to bring back Yvonne the way she is and was. Also maybe the knowledge if she wants to come back. So basically I want her to have the choice to either to come or not to come back. But I want the knowledge how to get there.
Is that your question, or are you still thinking out loud?
Well, all in together. Give Yvonne a chance to think if she wants or wants not to come back. And the way how to bring her back.
With her
The way she
arm.
is.
With her
The way
arm,
she-
maybe.
Either the way she is or with a new arm. That's my request.
Okay. The request has been submitted to the deck. And there's no voice that enters your head. It's just your own conscious speaking to yourself, as if from another mind. And in your head, your conscious is telling you that... well, out of character, do you have the salve of bestial growth? I'm curious.
Yes.
Okay,
Actually,
So-
I do.
fair enough. So
Wait,
in
I gave it to you, or...
so in your head,
I
So in-
actually have a bunch of your items. Remember
Yeah, there
all
was
of them?
there was a mistake with the things so let's get those things back in. Anyway, yes, Steve.
so in your head, your own conscious is speaking to you, and you can tell that it is powered by the deck. Your conscious voice says to you, with the power of fates at your fingertip, you could rewind events. The events that you can rewind to bring back Yvonne most efficiently would be to turn back Lorien from killing Ulrich. Those events would have led to Lorien slaying Ulrich before the rift, gaining the favor of the god of revenge, Hor, closing the rift, salvaging Yvonne's life, then using your salve of bestial growth, perhaps regenerate not all, but some of her body parts. And the voice stops and ends there.
Bah!
So you could use the so you
Sorry,
could use the fates to make that happen, huh?
My thing disconnected. I basically made a goat noise.
We heard that.
Ah.
I forgot you were a goat for a second.
Interesting thing. I could polymorph him into himself.
Can you
For now.
polymorph into a person? I thought it was
Not
a
relevant, but
creature
yes.
only.
Maybe it's beast actually.
Actually, no, because it
Beast.
needs to be the same challenge rating as the creature itself.
What are we talking about right now?
Don't worry about it. Focus on this
Are
first.
you? Do you have the same challenge rating as your character when you are a goat?
No.
This is quite interesting.
Boys, I think we need to bring Ulrich back. For
no, you do. The rest
I
of us
know.
know.
But you need to change it back in that time, in that moment. Change that situation. Don't just bring him back to life now.
I know. I was
Stab's
thinking
goat.
That
of
would be
it.
awkward.
Stab
I
goat,
just-
get stack.
Be really specific.
But who has said that I will do said request now?
Well, you want Yvonne back, right?
True.
Well,
True.
yeah, there you go.
What will it be, Joseph? You're listening to the waves splashing against the ship as you rock gently in the night. Sitting in this room
Sitting on the
alone,
ground. As a
the
goat.
deck, with the deck sitting on the floor in front of you,
That's the goat.
Your hooves tremble in anticipation.
and a couple of new gems.
New brain feels weird.
I kinda want to say to use your exact wording, but I'm afraid there is a catch.
I would.
It's your decision.
There is
Yeah.
a voice in your head telling you that, so it might not be. Might be something manipulating you to do so.
I don't think. Okay.
How do you know? Might be his goat mind.
Can I even do
Extra
this thing as a
susceptible.
goat?
Yes, you can. As a goat, yes.
Extra susceptible to outworldly
Oh fates that be,
influences.
oh fates that be, heed my words. Instead,
Wait, hold on. No, that's gonna be meta as fuck, so I just
yes,
figure
exactly.
I have an idea about what this might actually result in. But
Just
never
let
mind.
him do his thing.
Yep,
Fates of fates, here may be.
that shitty
here.
thing that Steve might have in mind.
It might be indeed, but I don't have the mind power to really think of anything else. I
No,
was
you're a
thinking
goat.
of Gallo. Instead of Ulrich, it could be Gallo, because he did want to kill himself in the end.
Oh, well, I'm gonna
Well,
repeat.
yeah,
I'm gonna
but
repeat
come
that it's not
on.
about you can't
He-
make
he-
events happen. You can only undo
He also
events.
wants to retire in a nice farm.
Well, hold on.
And
sure
I
he
might
would-
be,
Hang
and
on,
I
hang
might
on.
just have turned evil.
Hang on,
I
hang
don't
on.
know.
Hang on. Hold on. Keep in mind, I realized I wasn't push to talk. It's not creating events, it's undoing events. So you can't cause him to kill himself. What you can do is you can prevent Lorien from killing Ulrich. Remember, it's preventing an event from happening, not causing events to happen. And that's why the words of wisdom told you in that order.
It could also prevent that Yvonne took a lot longer time deciding. Gallo came in, drank the poison, but instead of it being with it, it wasn't.
I don't think that. I don't think it works that way either. I don't know.
I mean, he would, I would say out of character that he probably would have tried to make the sacrifice, but it would have still been withered because, you know, he's been carrying that poison throughout the entire...
But undoing the withering...
Well, that would be changing 2 events. You can only change 1 event.
Ah.
You can change one event, one thing.
Yeah, I would do what it says to do, because that is the best way.
I guess I'll do that. I'll have the fates change the fact that Lorien decided to kill Ulrich and decided to take him with us, and at the rift is a worthy sacrifice which shall gain the favor of Horror into closing the rift, making Ulrich the sacrifice and leaving Ivan alive.
Would he go for that, though?
Is that your reply, or is that you thinking out loud?
That was my reply. I basically want to do what you said, what the voice inside my head said.
This is fascinating.
Would Ulrich agree to committing suicide, though? That's why I'm thinking this is just a fucking ruse.
So I'm gonna say out of character. It's a life taken. It doesn't have to be suicide, and you guys were gonna kill him anyway because he was evil.
Oh.
No.
Whoa! So that was a lie that it had to be voluntary then.
Yeah.
It was. I can go back to the wording, but it was about a life being given to.
No.
If you recall, Ulrich did say for Ganadar when he was sacrificed, so he would be. He doesn't care as much about the rift as he does about being sacrificed for. So either way, when you were killing him, he accepted it and was willing. If you recall, do you remember that phrase? Remember he said for Ganadar? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So his death, even if it was in vengeance, he was willing to do it because his death would have strengthened faith in Ganadar for or against his own life. Which is why the words of wisdom from the Vizier spoke true.
That is exactly what should happen.
Okay, so that being said, here's what's going to happen. So everyone else is going to only know the reality that I'm going to describe. Only Joseph will know that he changed it through the deck. So what happened in Joseph's history was that Ulrich was found to have been a warlock working with Ganadar, and he was sacrificed, or should I say he was killed for his evil deeds by Friedgeek and by Lorien. After he was killed, you all pushed into Golazar's lair, killed him, and closed the rift with Yvonne sacrificing herself as the life force being used to stop the blood magic. What Joseph did was prevent Lorien from killing Ulrich and instead changing that event, causing them to take him prisoner instead. Everybody brought him, took their shifts watching him, debating what to do with him, not necessarily certain whether or not they were comfortable with killing someone in cold blood, and deciding that maybe he can be used to help negotiate as a warlock with Golazar. He worked very closely with 7 warlocks, deathlocks, specifically deathlocks that worked with Ganadar. So it would make sense that perhaps bringing along a warlock of Ganadar, much like his 7 warlocks, could be terms for negotiation. Once you entered Golazar's lair, you saw that Golazar was very steadfast in his perspective. Just as he had sacrificed the 7 warlocks for his own will, he cared little about Ulrich. And he was hell-bent on bringing back Nimlalwe, and had already brought back Elenith, I'm sorry, whatever her name is, Elorian. So he was also put in a force cage, just as Fred Geek was. None of you paid attention to Ulrich. He was in binds anyway. You finished the fight. You cleared the battlefield. And you continued to bring him along as prisoner into the chamber with the rift. You thought about who should make the sacrifice, whose life force should be used to end the blood magic. You all came to the conclusion that it was time for Ulrich's life to be taken. He tried to betray you all. He worked for the enemy. He was an evil warlock and not a wizard, as he proclaimed to be this entire time. Lorien called upon the favor of Hor, the god of revenge, and slit his throat on the altar, closing the portal. And Yvonne still felt that heavy guilt and did not find that solace in sacrificing herself and redeeming herself for those terrible things she did, and still has that heavy guilt upon her. You all made the journey back to the ship together. She carried herself, she was able to walk. She came down the rope with her one hand, using her belt to wrap around it and rappel. And used water walking just as the rest of you did. Nobody except for Joseph is aware of that happening. Yvonne has a lapse in memory loss because of this. The trade-off is that she is forgetting certain aspects of what happened because her fate, even more so than Joseph's, from his perspective, was greatly altered. Her spirit was not in her body for this time, and the reality has changed. And because of this, large patches of her memory are missing. You don't know what parts of her memory are missing. But you hear her rustling and getting up from her quarters, and is now there. Something that also happened on the journey back was that she spoke much with Rohal in this changed timeline and did use the salve of bestial growth on herself during the journey to see if she can heal some of her wounds.
Where she... But would have she known that?
Well, after the readings of some of Golazar's literature, you had more time to delve into it. There were several books on some of the ingredients there and things like that. So she took it the night before. And so now she's rustling and bustling and standing and walking. And you think you hear her in the main common room just outside your door after she had taken the salve of bestial growth. But you're not sure. Do you step outside?
Is he still a goat?
He's still a goat, yes.
One could deduce that he used the deck of many things.
To do what?
No, one could deduce that because he's a fucking goat.
But are you staying in that room, or are you stepping out to see who's bustling outside?
Wait, hold on.
So what I've gathered, large patches of her. She basically has amnesia. I might have a thing for that. Question: did the cliff scene still happen?
Yes, she used one arm and wrapped the rope around her, like I said.
No. Back when I was hanging.
Yes, all of that happened. That was all unchanged anyway.
Okay.
Ulrich did not interfere. He was stuck in a force cage as Friedgeek was, because he was standing next to Friedgeek. Friedgeek was the one that was overseeing his prisonership.
Is there any place for me to hide here?
Right now, let me take a look at the map. There is... There's a sack. Not a sack. There's some burlap there, and there's some... oh, over there. Yeah, there's the bed. You can try to crawl under the bed if you can fit. And there's like a wine rack.
I shall take the deck of many things into my mouth.
Okay. And
And I shall attempt to hide under the bed.
Okay. Nobody enters that room, but you hear walking on the outside on the top deck. You're just not sure who it is. It could be anybody.
I don't want to go outside as a goat to be mistaken. I have the fucking deck and a goat.
Fair enough.
Joseph is missing.
Lorian, are you asleep or awake? What would you like to do at this time? Are you resting?
Well, I meditate, and it only takes 4 hours for an elf to meditate and get a long rest,
Very good.
I believe. So,
Very good. Make a
I'm
constitution
mo-
roll, because it is around midnight, and you probably did get rest a little after dusk. If your constitution roll is low, you'll be waking.
Actually, I have a different idea, if you allow me to change.
You're still meditating as you wish. Sure, ahead. Go ahead, Sid. What's up?
After trying to crawl under the bed, the goat tries to hide the deck into its mouth.
Okay, you do that.
I shall roll stealth, I guess with disadvantage. Because I do have hooves.
Yes, it is a disadvantage. And I'll probably negate some numbers on it too, because you don't have your normal rolls as well for stealth.
Stealth.
So whatever your lowest number is, I'm gonna reduce. You're pretty quiet. You're pretty quiet even with all the debuffs that I'm giving you. Like you're super quiet.
Well, I try to exit slowly. First, I peek at the door here.
I didn't see which door.
The door out of the chambers, the forecast. So I'm like on the deck with where the first stairs go down.
Yes, you see Yvonne actually looking
Right.
You see Yvonne looking over the ship on the starboard side.
So has the sun blessing, Sylvia says. It was advantages, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Fuck it.
He's blessed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, good call. You are blessed still, even as a goat. You're a blessed goat.
Oh, by the way, is that deck well hidden in my mouth?
Yes, it is. You got a big mouth.
No mouth. Looking over the ship, where?
You're looking what?
Where is Ivan looking over the ship?
Just starboard. Just looking out. Looking at the horizon. It's quite dark out there, but the night is clear. There's stars.
The goat stares for a good 10 seconds at the Ivan.
Yes, you see that you see that she's still missing her arm. I'm going to roll a perception for Yvonne. Let me do that now. Actually, there's no point. You're so stealthy. You're honestly so stealthy. She doesn't see anything. Damn creepy goat.
Goat Joseph gives a oh my god, I just remembered Goat Simulator, thanks for that. Joseph gives a small goat sigh and then slowly goes downstairs.
Okay, now what?
I try to make my way slowly to the back of the ship.
You do so without any resistance.
I come up the stairs and peek over the stairs where I guess the quarters are.
Okay.
Do I see any movement? Anyone?
It seems like just Conrad and Gallo are top deck, and Yvonne is walking around top deck, and everyone else is in their quarters resting. And everyone else is like paralyzed. So.
Joseph comes to the table. And puts the deck of many things onto the... Actually, wait, where is Farminar's quarters?
Falminar, let me put him on the map here. He's, right here, next to Beatrice.
Would my stealth roll also count for opening the door again?
Yeah.
I slowly open the door.
Okay.
I go in the room trying not to touch anything, and I will just plonk slowly through my teeth, so like catch it with my teeth. Put the deck of many things in the middle of his room.
Let's do.
Not plonk, but silently put it there.
Where are you putting it? In the bag of holding?
No, in the middle of the room, just on the floor.
Oh, not a problem.
Away from all the swords, and I slowly back out.
Okay.
Close the door.
Okay.
And go to my quarters. Can I somehow lock the door with my lips?
Do a sleight of hand roll with advantage, I guess.
Oh, so generous today.
Well, no, it's because you have the sun blessing.
Oh, that's true. Sleight of hand.
You close your door. This is ridiculous. Unlock it.
And I go under my covers and good night.
Good night.
Don't follow the guards. This fucking goat man. Oh my god.
I will say that
I am exceptional.
Before we wrap up for the evening, Lorian, you do wake up.
Huh?
And yeah, you're awake. What would you like to do?
Do I feel like anything's off? Do I have any...
No. Nice cool air. Feel a little cooped up in your cabin, I guess. You know, a little cooped up.
I guess I'll go up above decks and get some fresh air. Let my familiar go flapping about.
Okay. You go top deck, you see... Make a perception roll. Only a 12. It is pretty dark out, but you got those keen elven eyes. You see Gallo is asleep in a chair with his legs up on a barrel behind Conrad. Conrad is manning the ship just fine, although his view is limited as he's a short person. And you see Yvonne just overlooking the sea and the stars.
Guess I'll walk over and stand next to Yvonne, a comfortable distance away.
Do you say anything?
Beautiful night to be alive, isn't it?
Yvonne responds, and she speaks as if she has a tongue now.
Oh.
Voice changer moment?
I don't know.
Something like that.
Well, I suppose it is.
Says Yvonne.
Where? Oh, to him. Here.
I'm gonna freeze and look at her. What? You can speak. When did this happen?
Fairly recently. It's still a bit clumsy. I took a potion, and it restored my tongue.
Well, that's wonderful, darling. How are you dealing with it? It must be quite a change. Even a good one can be a bit traumatic.
To be honest, I keep biting it accidentally.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine that would happen. Ouch. Well, hopefully you'll get used to it. You're enunciating incredibly well, you know, for not having had a tongue for so long.
It kind of comes back to you. Some words are harder than others.
Absolutely. So, how are you doing, though, overall? How are you feeling?
She kind of shrugs a little, looks back at the stars.
It's difficult sometimes to find hope and to not be incredibly haunted by the past, by the things that we've had to do to survive, to help others survive. It's too easy to be eaten alive by them. But if we do that, we just become another of its ghosts. You know. Better to do our best to look forward. Together we managed to save so many lives. You know that, right? You remember that.
I suppose.
Make an insight roll, Lorian. And yes, Sylvia will be playing Yvonne from now on.
Oh, wonderful. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little surprising we had going. Okay, 12 insight. That is fairly low. Not too low. But you sense that something is a bit off, and you do pick up a little bit on that maybe there's some kind of memory loss going on there. There are things there that she's not so certain about that she should have better memory of. And out of character, you know what's going on, but in character, you're just only kind of picking up a bit of it.
Are you having a hard time, my dear? Remembering things. Is that it?
I don't know. I thought it was just being tired from battle. It's pieces are fuzzy that didn't used to be. And I don't remember getting hit in the head, but I'm hoping it'll wear off.
I lean my hip against the side of the deck. Have you spoken to Rohal about this? Perhaps with his healing art, he can help.
I haven't yet. I figured the potion was enough for one sitting.
That is a lot. That is definitely a lot. Well, what are you having a hard time remembering? Maybe I can help you out.
It's specific details. A lot of the general events are there. Places, faces, the knowledge of what happened, but the details are missing. The times and names and what was said. And it's like a hill. I can see it from a distance, but I can't tell what's on it.
Well, I hope it wears off. I really do. And if there's anything specific you want to know, ask us. We'll tell you. I can tell you that you were incredibly brave. And that you fought hard. And that you were such a great help. And you did help save many lives. We closed the rift. We stopped the rot. And that means something. It really, really does. You might not see most of the lives that it saved and affected. Most of the things that we do, we never see the result of, but it still matters, and you still matter. Just remember that, sweetheart.
She nods a bit and kind of forces a smile. Doesn't entirely look like she believes you, but the words are nice.
All right.
Would you like to come down for some tea?
She nods again and turns to follow you.
I pat her lightly on the shoulder and go down below decks with her, and we have some tea.
Very good. And that's a wonderful place to call it a night. A lot happened, and yes, that's very cool. I'm very excited that we have a new party member. And not just any party member, but a party member that's playing a really cool character that's been with the crew for a while. Yeah. Wow, a lot happened. Wow, 6
Sylvia.
cards. I can't believe you have 6 cards.
I realize my voice is probably not what any of you pictured for that, but whatever. We'll roll with it.
Sylvia.
She didn't have a
Sylvia.
voice,
Yes.
so we didn't pick one.
Sylvia,
Mm-hmm.
are you ready to be my bae?
Oh, absolutely. Dude, I am a shipper. Let's go.
One thing out of character that my mind is brewing. I do have a magical drink in my possession.
Oh my.
Ale of Recall.
Hmm.
He does have the Ale of Recall, which could help with the memory stuff.
Recall some lost memories.
Which
It's
just
not
means,
all.
which means that just out of character, she'll have the memory losses. Which is sort of why I worked that in there. But yeah, no, absolutely viable option. Makes sense.
Let's see how this goes. I cannot believe I didn't fucking die. The worst thing that happened was I turned into a goat. Maybe turning into a goat was a blessing.
You're dodging a lot of stuff last session and this session. That's what I'm gonna say. And now you have your eyes repaired too.
No, just don't come out when the eagles come, because you'd be a real snack.
I mean, I'll be back to normal at midnight.